This is the Average to Savage podcast with Paul Guarino. Everyone and anyone, athletes, celebs, and much more.
What's up, everybody? I'm back for another episode of the Average Savage podcast. Our special guest today is Anthony Hamilton. Anthony, how's it going?
Going good, man. Just getting in, picking up the kids, carpooling. Real sexy R&B stuff, right?
Yeah, appreciate you coming on. Let's just go back in time a little bit. Like, how did you first start getting involved in music?
You know what? It started like way before I was even here. I think before I got into my mom's belly, God was like, "You are music, you will sing." And, there's not one day, one moment when I didn't think about music and didn't think about that being something that I love to do. So it goes way back.
For sure. Yeah. So I know you grew up in North Carolina, and then you were singing there. And then, so what happened? I read something that somebody like kind of recruited you to move out to New York.
Yeah, a guy by the name of Mark Sparks. He had done a lot of stuff with the music industry. He's from Charlotte, not Charlotte, North Carolina, but he was from Wadesboro, South Carolina. And so he'd come and bring tons of people from Wadesboro, from South Carolina, from Charlotte. And he took a lot of them to New York, and a lot of people got deals. He landed songs on, he did shoot for Salt and Pepper. He did some stuff for Grand Poobah and a lot of people back in the day. So he got me a deal over at Uptown MCA with Jimmy Jenkins and Andre Harrell on Uptown MCA. And from there, I've been in the industry full-fledged since 92, 93.
Gotcha. And then like when you were like before that, like how were you recording stuff and like how are you putting it out? Because I know back in the day, it didn't have like, SoundCloud and all this stuff now.
Well, back then, man, it was you had to beat the streets. One cassette tape at a time, one CD at a time, and just let your listeners find it through word of mouth and coming in contact with people. Radio was very important as it is now. We didn't have as many podcasts as we do now, but some were available. But it was a different animal back then, and which I miss a lot of that. I miss the real grind of station to station, hand to hand, CD to hand, money to CD to, all that stuff is missed a little bit. Now it's so cyber, you kind of feel like you're getting robbed in a way. It feels like, man, where the money ain't, it's cyber, Cash App. No, man, put it in my hand.
I got so many questions from that, but like, all right, so now that you brought that up, have you thought of anything about like people like purchasing your music in like crypto?
I'm still learning about cryptocurrency and all the different, Dogecoin and Bitcoin and all this stuff. And actually, before Nipsey passed away, he and I were on a flight together. It was a flight, I don't know if you saw it online, it was just when this guy tapped him on the shoulder and told him to turn his phone down. I was sitting right next to Nipsey. We were going, I don't know where we were going, from LA to New York or from New York or from somewhere. I know it was something happening. We were all there. And he and I happened to be sitting beside each other. So he was putting me on to, he had met this young guy who was really great with building apps and stuff. And he was talking about Dogecoin and the cryptocurrency and all this stuff was happening. So now that it's here, I'm trying to catch up because I was listening to him, but I probably didn't get exactly what it was, but he planted a seed. So now that I know a little bit more about it, I'm more interested in learning more. So I know if I'm getting paid, exactly what does it equate to what I'm used to, as opposed to, moving forward. But I'm not afraid of it. If I can buy some food with it and take care of my kids, I'll be all right.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because like I just searched Doge in my phone one day, and then I saw my friend texting me about it in like 2018, and I was just like, "Damn, like that would have been crazy if we invested then in it." And then it's the same thing with the Bitcoin thing. I don't know if you just saw like the other day. It was like the anniversary of this guy. He bought 2 pizzas, I think like 10 years ago, with like 10,000 Bitcoins, because it was like worth nothing then. and then now it
Wow.
would be like a $500,000 or something crazy like that.
It's like worth $500,000 now?
Yeah.
God. See that?
For 2 pizzas.
Wow. I wish I was that savvy with that kind of stuff, man, when it comes to investments and currency and the different times to invest. If I had somebody on my team that's sharp,
Yeah, for sure.
man, I'd be on it. But I'm so busy creating music, man. You live in this musical world, and sometimes it's kind of hard to think of it all. So that's why your team is so important.
Yeah, definitely. Well, since we're breaking down business side of things, like have you made like other investments like besides like in your music?
Yeah, man, I have a few stocks and things like that my team has purchased and invested in certain accounts that yield me a lot of great interest without a lot of risk.
Mm-hmm.
And looking forward to diving into some more stuff, real estate, investing in my own tour company, a hat brand called House of Fedora, a Big Bones clothing line for Sister Big Bones, and just investing in different things that that fit my brand as well.
Yeah, that's dope.
It's monetary.
Is that one of your hats?
No, this is not one of mine, but I purchased it a couple years ago. I just felt like putting it on. I hadn't worn it in a minute. I was like, you know what? Let me put on my hat and see what it's talking about. It looks kind of a little cowboy and a little what you call it, presidential. What do you call it when it's time for the voting?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Election.
Yeah, it looks a little election-y.
All right, let's go back into your music career. What was like your breakthrough music moment of like maybe a song or like something that you felt like you made it?
The breakthrough when I felt like I made it.
Yeah.
Being signed to Uptown was a dream to me because Jodeci was there, Mary J. Blige, Heavy D, Father MC, all these great groups, Horace Brown, they were on this label. And I was dreaming of being on this label. So I eventually got signed to them, and things didn't go as planned in my head. But that was a sign for me that I was doing okay. But when it really, really set in is when I did the song with Nappy Roots and it took off. It was huge. Po Folks and Jadakiss, Why? Yeah. Those two moments together, working hand in hand, people were starting to look at me different. And it set it up for Charlene and Coming From Where I'm From. And once Coming From Where I'm From came out and I got nominated for 4 Grammys, and I was like, okay, I'm cooking with real grease right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. How old were you when you signed that record label? To the record label?
I think I was maybe 22 years old, 23 tops.
Yeah. So
I was young.
Yeah, that was young. And then you ended up winning a Grammy for you got the Love I Need. What was that feeling like?
Man, to win a Grammy, it was surreal. And to do it with Al Green, man, it was like I won that Grammy not just for myself, but for my mother and father and uncles and everybody who loved Al Green, who grew up on Al Green. That was for the hood. That was for my neighborhood. All the people who had the windows open, playing Al Green loud with the cookout grill in the front yard.
Yeah.
That Grammy was for all of them. And to be alongside of James Poyser and Questlove and producing and writing this song, it meant a lot to me as well.
For sure. Yeah. So I know, like you've been mentioning, you collab with like so many great people, and you did crossovers and rap and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, is there anybody that you really want to work with that you haven't worked with yet?
Anybody I want to work with who I haven't worked with yet. Drake and I, we went in the studio one time and we never got anything that night. We hung out, went to see D'Angelo and had a great time, but we never got the song yet. And he hit me not so long ago to deliver some pain. He's like, I need that pain only you can deliver. It's back when the pandemic was kind of ending and coming out of it.
Yeah.
So to get back in with him would be great. Kanye West would be amazing. Chance, I performed with Chance, but I haven't gotten in the studio with them. Those are some amazing people that I like to get in with. I've done some country with Josh Turner and John Rich from Big and Rich, but I like to do more country.
Okay.
Darius Rucker, he'd be great. Garth Brooks.
For sure. Yeah, I think that if you do one with Drake, it'll definitely be a hit.
Man, we'll do something so retarded.
You want to know?
Crazy.
Want to know how I know about you?
How is that? How did you find out?
So I'm a huge Nelly fan. So that's how I know about you, because you were on Nelly's song, Nobody Knows.
Yeah, I didn't know there'll be trouble along the way. Nobody told me nothing. I love that song too. That was a great one.
Yeah, that was a good song. I really like that one.
Yeah,
man. How did you got to tell me, how did you link up with Nelly then?
You know, man, I had ran into Nelly a few times, and with Jermaine Dupri, and just being out amongst people, and he was like, he was a fan, man, and wanted me on the record. And he went through my people. They contacted me, and he asked me, would I be a part of it? And I was like, yeah, man. This is Nelly. 10 million albums plus.
Yeah, that's why it's funny.
He just had a great sound, man. You know, St. Louis, it's a place I've visited a lot. I've toured there a lot. And it's always been a place where I felt well received, and they got it. They were kind of country. Yeah. You know what I mean? Midwest country. So it was a good fit.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny because like everyone always makes fun of me when I say that's my favorite artist. And I'm like,
yeah,
he's only like, I think one of maybe like 5 rappers that has the Diamond album.
Hands down. And he had great music and some hits. Yeah. It's getting hot in here, man. You hear that right now, you go crazy. Just start taking your clothes off. You know? Down, bed, boom, boom. Ready to let it go. Man. He got some joints, man. He got a few. But I like his music. I like Nelly. I like when he did the country stuff. So
for sure.
Definitely.
Going back to you now, I know you're working on a new album. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
The new album is scheduled to be out in August. Man, it's going really well. I got some features on there that are amazing. Me and Rick Ross got one that it goes back and tap into the energy of My Life. What's the 411 with Mary J. Blige and My Life, that whole kind of vibe that she had. And it's a banger. Working on a duet of a classic. I did a song with John Legend. I'm trying to see if I'm gonna put it on this record or the next one, because it's such a big record. And then, you know, I'm waiting to see. But I have a few songs, man, produced by Ninth Wonder. We have some great ones. Jermaine Dupri has the first single that's out now, You Made a Fool of Me. And we have about 4 more to put on this album, man. And we went in. It's straight R&B, no chaser, no trying to be new, no trying to be current, straight, great songs, singing my ass off, and making people feel something again. So I'm excited about it. I had a song called White Hennessy. That's a banger. You know, I worked with Jay Deal and Marlon, those guys, 1500 and Nothing, Bing Dog. I got some real heavy hitters who do real good music on this album. Kelvin Wooten. And some singing on there. I got a little bit of backgrounds. I think the Hamiltons are maybe on 1 or 2 singing backgrounds. JK, Jack King. So I'm excited about the collaborations of different voices coming to create this whole new old moment again. So
yeah, for sure. What has most changed about like R&B back then and R&B now?
I think R&B back then was more live. It was more live instrumentation, guitar, drums, keys, and more melody, more passion in the lyrics. Back then, they used to date the girl before they got in bed. Now they get straight to it. You know, it was like, all right, hold on. Don't you want to know her name first? don't you want to make sure she's all right? Ask her a few questions. She might be crazy. Yeah, I think now, there's some good music now. I listen to a lot of it. There's some amazing cats. Let's see, Gideon, I think. I like what he's doing. Daniel Caesar, he's good. Snow Allegra, Jasmine Sullivan is one of my favorites. Khalid, BJ Chicago Kid. I love what he does. Luke James, Ro James, all the James. So yeah, some really cool cats out doing some good music. But I just think the passion is missing, and sonically, things now are more repetitive. Less words, more melody, and more a lot of auto tune. Back then, you had to sing. You had to sing it back then. Yeah. Whatever effect you needed, you better create it with your voice and with your pen. And now I think a lot of the music now they get away with using things that are it's creative, but it takes away from the true essence of that church down homegrown musical ability.
Yeah, for sure. What keeps you motivated? I know you've been around for a long time in the music industry.
What keeps me motivated? What keeps me motivated is knowing that I was chosen to do it, and it's been working for me, and it's been making a difference in a lot of people's lives. And my passion for music is just as big as my passion for people. So being able to do the two together and touch and make a difference means a lot. I've healed a lot of people, and I've mended some relationships. I probably tore down a few, but for the most part, I think my music has done a lot of good, man. And it's traveled the world for me and allowed me to see things I wouldn't have had a chance to see had I not been a singer, songwriter.
Yeah, for sure. And what inspires you, and then what advice would you give to like a young artist coming up?
What inspires me? I think life, man. I wake up every day, and that's something to talk about. That's something to sing about. That's something to be grateful for. There's something to be pissed off about. And that's some things that you just don't quite understand. And just being in the company of any of that, there's always something to be said. For questions to be answered. So I think life itself is what motivates me. And I'll let people know, if you ever wanted to be a singer, songwriter, musician, or producer, be passionate about saying something, the same thing, saying it your way and making it feel special, even if it's the same thing that's been said over and over again. Find a way to make I love you feel like it's the most amazing thing you've ever heard. Learn the business, create your own sound, have a sound that stands out. A lot of times people say, I know it's you. Even with my mask on, I've heard people say, no hat at all. I've tried it. A lot of times without a hat, okay, I can slide by a little bit. But I think now people are paying so much attention to who's got on the mask, who doesn't. If I say anything, and they say, what's your name? They know it's my voice, and that's distinctive. And so you want to have a distinctive sound, something that people feel like, I can only get this from this guy, and make it work for you. And don't stop.
I like that. Are you ready for some fun questions?
Let's go.
All right. What was the biggest purchase you made, and what was like the worst purchase you made ever?
The biggest purchase I've ever made was my house. Yeah. Under $1 million. I wasn't going to spend $1 million on a house, my first house. And it's worth well over that now, which makes me want to sell it. And I think I may.
Not right now.
Yeah, it's hot right now. It's like I'll sell it and just go rent something right quick and just stack it up. The worst purchase I've ever made. Wow. The worst purchase I ever made. All those damn clothes and shoes and stuff I have. Yeah. Now it's taking over the house. You know, I can't think of one thing that was really bad that I purchased. Because I'm really selective about spending my money on it. But maybe a date. Maybe a date. One date that sucked real bad. I had to purchase everything that night and purchase and kept purchasing, and it probably bit me in the butt. I would say a date, some date.
I think a lot of guys can relate to that one.
Yeah, and women.
Out of all the songs you ever made, which one is your favorite?
Out of all the songs I've ever made, which one is my favorite? Wow, I think.
Or give me your top.
There's a few, and they have different times. I think coming from where I'm from, when I just think about the struggle and coming about the mud, man, and getting it how I had to get it. I think coming from where I'm from is the best theme song. It captures the emotion and the grind and the grit that it took to get here and the perseverance. I think that song is my Once Upon a Time, and that starts the story. And then you have, Charlene has definitely turned my life around. It's a song that when I'm performing it and people are sitting there looking at me, man, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe it. They love it this much. Another song that I did that I really, really love. Wow. Gonna have to say it was song with the Gorillas. I liked it a lot. It was taking me outside of my comfort zone. It's called Carnival. Taking me out of my comfort zone and putting me in a space where, you know, most people probably wouldn't allow me to be able to swim.
Yeah.
So Carnival was one. Why Would Jada Kiss?
Yeah.
That was a big record. That was a huge record. And Lamborghini Doors with Rick Ross and Meek Mill. Yeah.
I didn't even know you were on that one.
Yeah, I did I did a few songs with Rick Ross on that particular project. He put them out different times. Yeah, Lamborghini Doors.
Yeah,
that was me.
Are you a sports guy?
I do like sports. I played football. I was a tailback and safety, and I ran track with 110 hurdles, 4x4 relay. I used to long jump. Like I'll long jump the whole highway.
Who's your favorite sports team?
Sports team, football, Panthers, basketball, the Hornets. I'm just a home team player.
I like that.
Yeah, man. I used to be a Dallas Cowboy fan for a lot of my earlier years. And it wasn't until I started falling in love with the Panthers that I kind of stopped rooting for Dallas.
Yeah.
It's been some years now. But yeah, it was America's team. So I was I had to inherit that until we had our own.
Well,
definitely.
I got to ask you, what do you think about LaMelo Ball?
I think LaMelo is raw talent, who's on the verge of going into something really amazing and dynamic and explosive. I think he's a great facilitator. I think he's a great team leader. He knows how to get people balling and getting them. He keeps those boys running.
Yeah.
And I think he's so young, man. What is he, like 18, 19?
Yeah, I think he's at 19 or 20, maybe.
He may be 20. He may be 20. But to be that young with so much talent that he hasn't even tapped into yet, I think the world will see so much more from Melo Ball. And then his father, I love his father. He roots for him.
Yeah.
And his brother too.
Yeah.
Plays for the Pelicans.
Yeah.
You know, I like seeing them going at it. It's like you can tell it's like, nah, we've been doing this for a long time. Y'all stay out the way. Y'all stay out the way. It's me and my brother right now. We're about to handle this. So it's always good to see that. But I'm a huge UFC fan as well. So
all right.
Yeah, man, definitely. If I was younger, I'd be putting the bowls.
Hey, well, there's a lot of celebrity boxing going on.
Yeah. So celebrity boxing is good. You know, I'm up in the age now, so I still got some quick hands. But you know,
who's your favorite UFC fighter?
Huh?
Who's your favorite UFC fighter?
Definitely John Jones. Usman. Usman. I like Usman. John Jones. My favorite to watch is Nate Diaz.
Yeah. He's crazy.
There's a few. Amanda Nunes is incredible. Yeah. Edwards is good. He's good. There's a lot of great fighters. There's a lot of them.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw it. You know Clarissa Shields, the boxer?
Yeah, she's switching over.
Yeah, to MMA in June. Actually, June 10th, I believe.
That's her first fight.
Yeah, MMA.
I think she'll do good. She hits hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, so if she gets her grappling and her wrestling together, she definitely can do some damage.
Yeah, definitely. All right, my last question. Are you going to do a versus?
You know what? Am I going to do a versus? Yes, I will. They wanted me and Music Soul Child to do one, and I reached out to Music a little while back, but he was busy doing some stuff, and you know, was in a different space at the time, and he said, you know, but maybe we'll talk about it a little later. But the fans have really wanted to see the two of us, and he has a ton of hits, so that says a lot about what they feel about my music. I think he's had more radio records. I have a lot of great album songs that never made it to radio that people play like a single. So I think it would be interesting to see Music Soul Child and myself. Yeah. But definitely, versus is great. Shout out to Swiss Beats and Timberland for being creative innovators.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that'd be dope. Was there anyone else that you want to go versus against?
I think Music was a good one. Who's another one that I felt like it would be good? Man. Maybe I think Maxwell could have been something fun. Mm-hmm. Or D'Angelo could have been kind of fun in terms of R&B. And you know, hearing what the fans think about me, I think those would be good.
All right. Well, I appreciate you coming on. My boy told me all the aunties in America are gonna go wild now because of this.
Oh yeah, you about to get all the auntie love in the world, man. You might even get some grandma panties thrown at your screen. You might get some grandma panties, man. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid. Embrace the grandma panty, and
okay.
But cling to the auntie panty a little more. But enjoy yourself, man. I appreciate you, Paul, man. Thank you, and thank you for your patience, man. I know I was running a little late with the kids and all, but I appreciate it, man. It was a great interview.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate it. Good luck with the album. I'll definitely be promoting it for you.
All right, man. Appreciate it, man. I'll be looking out for you too. You're gonna be doing great things as well.